Hi, I'm Peggy at Headshots by Peggy, and today I have two amazing guests. I have Jordan and Cristyn, and we're gonna have a lot of fun today. Okay, guys, so you guys do so much. You're both actors, writer, but the main thing we're gonna talk about is your crazy awesome podcast.
Thank you.
Oh, crazy and awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Those are two classifications I can get behind.
Right. So, how did you decide to do a podcast? How did that get started? Because, like, I have this vlog, and it's me. Like, I run the cameras, I run the sound. You have like a whole crew that does your podcast. You have like sound and.
I think the short answer is overwhelming bitterness toward the world itself. So it's funny how it happened. So Cristyn and Allie and I are at a bar one night with a bunch of other people, and we're talking about a relationship of hers that had recently crashed and burned terribly. And yeah, and so she got real depressed for about 20 minutes, and then she comes out of her alcohol. Yeah, she comes out of her alcohol-induced haze, and she goes, "You know what? We should do a podcast about relationships." And so I was like, I was trying to make out what she said, and I go, "That's a good idea." People had approached me about doing podcasts before, and I was like, but this concept was fantastic because bitterness, I can get behind that. And so
in fact, it wasn't just me that had bad relationship issues. He could relate 100%.
At the time, at the bar, you saw one of my relationships go terrible at the bar that night.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, well, now we have the concept. Now what's the title?
And then I said, we'll call it "You Are Gonna Die Alone."
And it was.
And that was it. That was it. Like, that was all the brainstorming. It was just like one drunken night at the bar, and you guys had it all planned out.
Drunk plans never go through.
Yeah.
Drunk plans never go through, but this one, I don't know who.
I'll tell you why.
Who's
Okay,
on top of
because
who?
we were just throwing ideas out, and then suddenly Allie goes, "And I'll produce it." And we said, "Oh my God, what?" And she said, "If you guys in the next 2 weeks, if you guys organize the thing, I'll produce it." And I said,
So she put a 2-week time limit on it. It
She
wasn't
did.
just like, yeah, I'll produce it sometime. But she's like, if you get back to me in 2 weeks, I'll produce it.
That's
She
what it
probably
was.
understood what a drunk plan was,
Right.
and that it was never going to go through.
And she was like, then she was off the hook because she knew that in 2 weeks, you two alcoholics could never pull this off.
Yes, Allie Lennox is quite astute in that respect.
That's hilarious. That's great.
So we got together and we mapped the thing out, and
Yeah. And
Allie
then we
was.
found a sound person, Dave Rivas, for our sound, and he was on board.
Yeah.
I've known him for like 20 years, so. And then we were like, let's do it. Let's really do it.
Yeah, and we did. It fell together.
And Mary and I love it. We listen to it and we laugh. So the premise of this isn't just relationships that's gone sour,
Right.
but it's celebrity relationships gone sour, and then you interject your own personal.
Right, because we knew that no one knows us and no one's going to listen to us talk about our relationship. Like maybe our friends or family be like, oh yeah, they are really bad at relationships, but no one,
The people we date certainly feel that way.
No one's gonna care about it, so we added the other element of celebrity relationships, tumultuous relationships, so that people would listen, and so that we could tell our story too.
So what I like is you guys like do serious hardcore research. Like we've been to a restaurant with you guys when you were like bickering and like doing these research
bickering.
And just to make it clear, they're actually not in a relationship. They just act like they've been married for 30 years.
Oh,
No.
Did we make people uncomfortable and I didn't even know that?
Yes, but I knew that. I knew that we made them
shoot.
uncomfortable. But yeah, it's been happening.
But no, seriously, like you guys like do hardcore research on this. It's not just some like, oh, I heard in whatever magazine. You like get into this and dig deep. So what's your favorite? Let's start with you. What's your favorite? Celebrity thing that you researched and you were like, oh my God, I had no idea. And it like blew your mind when you started actually digging into it. Because you just heard the whatever, but when you started digging in, you're like, what?
Yeah, no, so we have like compiled like lists of celebrities, and Jordan has some of his favorites and I had like some of my favorites and everything. And so I would know some celebrity stories, but the one that he had suggested we do was Liberace. And I had no idea. And I was like, when he suggests stuff, I'm usually like, no, let's not do anything you just said. But this time, I did listen, and I did some of the research, and I was like, oh my gosh, it really is a tumultuous relationship. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So that's so fun for me, is like finding out like more and more stuff. And the thing about Jordan and I is the reason why we decided to do this celebrity podcast is because we get off on the gossip and the dirt.
I love it. I love it.
So much.
I like film and the entertainment industry, and I like history, and it combines it in such a sleazy way.
Yeah.
That for me, it's delightful.
We're all about gossip and bad relationships. What about you?
Yeah, what about you? What was the relationship that you were like, whoa? I know
Well,
it was bad, but whoa.
So my favorite one to do was Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, because we actually went to go see the documentary, and it was fantastic. We both teared up in the theater, and then but. Here's the thing, I, like a lot of people, assume that Bobby Brown was the guy that got her into drugs, and once she got together with him, her life spiraled out of control, leading to her inevitable death. But it was the opposite.
Yeah.
First off, Bobby Brown didn't do drugs as she did. I mean, she kind of got him.
He was a lightweight.
Yeah.
He could barely drink alcohol.
On top of that, I didn't realize that he really legitimately adored her. I just thought he was latching himself onto her because she was the bigger star. But he was bigger at the time.
Yeah.
It was fascinating to me. It was a great episode, and I was very moved,
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it kind of interesting is we're getting interested in learning more. So maybe you guys listening being like, oh, wow, I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that
you
either.
know?
Yeah. No, Merrick and I, we listened to them, and we're like, some of them were like, oh, God. And then we turn it on, and we're like, oh my God, did you know that? And then you guys are just hilarious to listen to anyway.
People tell us that a lot. People come up to us and say, like, I wasn't really interested in such and such couple. I have no interest in this couple. And then they turned it on, and they were like, oh my gosh, that was so fun.
Right.
So.
And mostly it's because we do so much research, and I obsessively try to find facts that you may not know about people. And I'm always surprised by stuff. And but it really does go back into like I would say I do an average of 15 hours of research.
Wow.
Kristyn does hours upon hours. Allie spends 20 minutes copying and pasting from Wikipedia. So
she does her input. She's a producer.
Between all of us, it's a solid 20 hours of research per episode.
Yeah. No, we do. We each one of us has our own job, our own silo. Like this is your job, this is my job, this is my job, and so.
But that's when you guys first because you're friends of ours. So when you first told us about, we're like, okay, we'll
cute.
listen. That's cute.
That's cute what they're doing with that little show.
That's so cute. And we're like, oh my God, like this is like legit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'm always telling people like you gotta listen and I'm not a podcast person. Like, I know that's weird that I live in LA and I don't listen to podcasts because
everyone
that's a thing.
Because the drive.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an audiobook girl. So when I'm driving, I just throw on an audiobook. Yeah. So when I say I just read a book, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't read. But but this podcast, it's like addicting. We're like, oh wait, is it time? Is it up?
Yeah.
So you've already finished 2 seasons, which is crazy.
In 1 year.
It hasn't even been a year.
It hasn't even been a year.
We're coming up next month on our anniversary.
So you have something spectacular planned for next month, but it's a secret.
Do we though? I mean, yes.
We're in the planning process. We want to do something special for our 1 year anniversary.
We're in the planning process of the planning process.
Yeah, we're gonna plan.
We're thinking
you
about.
You could have just rolled with what I said. You could have just rolled.
Yeah, but I think anyone that knows us knows that we're not very on top of it or organized or good at stuff.
We definitely want to get drunk.
Oh yeah, no, that's a plus.
At our 1 year anniversary, and then
for a reason we want to get drunk, not just because it's Tuesday.
Right.
Maybe I don't know, talk in front of people. That's a plan. Ish.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I think that so if you have not listened, I started to say watch. If you have not listened to this podcast yet, I'm gonna have links below where they can go. You can listen to it everywhere though. It's everywhere that podcasts are.
Everywhere.
So if you're a podcaster, you know these things anyway. But But you have time to listen to season 1 and season 2 before they start season 3, so you can binge listen and and catch up before, But season 3 is coming out. It's gonna be like a month or so, but you'll keep people posted.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And
we wanted to like take the time to make sure we get like all the research. We have like so many more couples to do.
Yeah.
Like big name couples.
And we want to do them right.
We want to do them right. Yeah. We want to. So it's all about like getting everybody together and timing and stuff like that. So.
And our deal is this: we really don't want to phone in an episode,
Right?
Because we did one time, and
we trashed it.
we trashed it. It wasn't
it.
up to our standards. Not that
Yeah.
we do have high standards for ourselves.
We
No,
do.
it's a really
You know?
good show.
Thank
The
you.
sound's
Thank you.
always on point, and you guys, it's always, I don't know how much is just one straight cut or how much is in editing, but it's always seamless. It's always seamless.
We're eventually getting to the one take wonder.
Well,
but-
Dave Rivas, our sound engineer, is really the guy that makes us sound decent and
Yeah.
half human.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of times where we just say idiotic stuff more than usual,
Yeah.
and he makes us sound less dumb, which I appreciate. I
Yeah.
wish he could follow me around and just say stop.
What was it?
speaking."
What was it? There was one episode early on, and she kept saying the name wrong. Who was that?
Oh, it was a Kid Rock, but you said
Oh,
kept
you
saying
kept
that
saying
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock,
Rock.
and it was Kid Rock, and it was like
Pamela Anderson
and you
never
were getting,
dated.
You were getting so irritated with her on the podcast. You were like,
Just
Kid
FYI
Rock.
to everybody listening, you think it's a mistake, okay? But maybe I planned it. Just saying.
Yeah, she's smart like a fox.
I might have planned. What was the?
I think you planned a couple of glasses of wine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
So
I'm just
true.
saying. It was hilarious, though. We were dying.
The Pam Anderson one where she lived in what country was it?
Oh my God, she's she's Swedish or something, right? And you're like, that's where the Swedes are from. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Drink your wine. Drink your wine.
You just be quiet over there in the corner.
They have puppet chefs from there. They throw fishes at the screen. They sure do. Kristen, good for you.
But seriously, it's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
But
Thank
you
you.
guys don't just do podcasts. Like, this isn't like your first little thing. Like, you're an amazing actor, as are you,
Thank you very much.
and you write.
Yeah.
He's actually a brilliant writer.
Thank you for saying
I
so.
have seen a lot of things that you have written, and I'm like, wow, this guy is actually funny.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
It's like, wow, bless you.
He writes all his improv jokes too.
Yeah.
I don't. Here's why I can't, right? Because I'll write some improv jokes, or I'll write some jokes, but then she doesn't react to them, and she doesn't keep them moving. So I have to keep everything. This one doesn't like us to plan anything, and so sometimes I'm caught out of left field, and I don't know how to react to it. But she just wants
You're
everything to be fresh.
But you're so good at it, Jordan. You come from a writing background, so when I say something, he's already thinking of like what he's going to come back with. He's so good at that. You have such a talent for that. And that's why I don't want you to write it down, because you're better when it's off the cuff. Go.
Your praise has soothed the savage beast, but I'm still pretty damn annoyed about it. But you know what? But it's good. We have a good dynamic. And,
Yeah,
and
no,
I like
you guys
it.
have a great dynamic. Yeah.
But going back to what you said, she's an excellent actress. She just
is.
won an award for it at the San Diego Film Awards.
Yes.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
And yes, and the other film that you were in, the mom one, where you were the mom,
Motherly Advice,
Motherly Advice,
which was directed by our You're Gonna Die Alone producer, Allie Lennox.
Yeah.
oh my God, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that up anywhere? Can I put a link? Can people see that?
I think so. That was based on a true story that somebody wrote too, about a mom that took a little bit of Ambien and proceeded to tell her daughter something highly inappropriate, and I think my task was to do it as honest as possible
It
and
was-
not make a joke out of it, because it really did
No,
happen.
yeah, it was really,
perfect.
it was
Thank you.
perfect. I was surprised that you didn't win like a bazillion awards on that
Really?
one.
Me too.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I was like, well, she was, you were okay in the other one, but no.
So it's based on a short story, and then it was adapted into screenplay form by a brilliant writer named Jordan, I think it is. Anyway, that's what.
Did you write that?
I did. I adapted it, so not the short story, but
I can see like it was really good. So.
Yeah.
But
I just wanted to get some praise in for me.
Okay, cool.
Thank
well,
you.
no, I
just kidding.
Now you also do a show called Jordan Loves and Jordan Hates. You have two separate shows. Are they both running right now, or is just Jordan Loves running?
So they're both on hold right now. I'm looking to revamp one or both if I can.
Okay.
So I was doing Jordan Hates on YouTube and Facebook video for a while, and it was very cynical. People would write in and go, "Hey, I hate this," and I'd be like, "Great, I'll hate it too for you." And so it got some attention, and it got the attention of KPBS, and so I approached them about another project, and they said, "What about Jordan Loves? Is that a possibility?" I said, That makes no sense to me."
Yeah, I don't love anything. I'm like, wait.
I can learn to love.
Jordan loves to hate.
He sure does. And so I learned to love, and I got a season going on KPBS called Jordan Loves, and we're currently in the.
But what do you talk about though? Jordan Loves. It's
just
San
a bunch
Diego,
of dumb baloney.
right? No, it's like San Diego.
Yeah, it's just local stuff. So I go around town
like
and I talk
different
about
bars, different restaurants, and
mostly
the
bars,
coves, and different things that you love and
really
hate
good.
about the city.
Thank
It's
you.
really good.
Well, it's hidden gems. It's
And
stuff
it's
you
fun
might not
because
know.
and it's fun when I see an episode and I'm like, I knew that.
See, that's amazing because I did a pilot. My pilot episode was on the La Jolla Coves, and I didn't know you could walk down them.
That stairs.
But that's the thing. 2 months before I wrote the script, someone told me about it, and I go, "Oh, it sounds fantastic." So 2 months later, I'm shooting an episode like I'm the authority on it. Like you may not know this. I didn't know this. But I like hidden San Diego. I like stuff that you don't know is there, and bringing it to light.
Yeah.
We did one on the speakeasies. That was a blast.
I saw that one.
I saw that one
That
too.
was great.
We had a good time. We got real drunk. So.
There's no alcohol issues in this room, just so you know.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, we like to party. All right, is that so wrong?
But so, how did you go from YouTube to getting picked up on KPBS?
Well, okay. So there was something called the Explored program where KPBS opens themselves up for submissions, and they'll say, "Look, if you have an interesting submission, come on in, talk to us about it, and we'll see if we like it." And I think that year they got about 180 submissions, but they were only going to accept about 10 projects. And so I said, I need to do everything possible to get my. Not only am I selling my project, I'm selling myself. I'm selling my team. And so they said, before you come and submit, we have a bunch of different workshops. So I went to every single one. Nice. And I made sure to sit in the front, and I made sure to shake hands and meet people, because I need to sell them as much on Jordan as Jordan's concept.
Right.
And I had done some work for KPBS, so that didn't hurt. I knew some of the people over there, and they knew my writing and my style and my brand. So, I pitched a totally different show to them, and they said, "Yeah, we don't want that." But what about Jordan Loves? And I said, "Hey, look, if you're interested, what the hell? Let me." But I didn't understand the concept. It freaked me out until I started developing it, and I said, "I like this. This is
good. You're so good at it.
Well, thank you.
You look like you really know what you're talking about."
Looks that way, doesn't it? Yeah. But so I would say the key to sort of getting something on anything is just persistence, but also get yourself out there, because I know people that have had great concepts, but they don't sell them because they themselves cannot sell themselves with the concept.
When you are in this industry, you are self-employed. It is your job to market. It is your job to do the books. It's your job to do everything. And I think people forget that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some people have to go in after a shoot and shake hands and make sure they know your name. And other people just like to disappear afterwards and be rude, But that's fine,
I'm shy. I'm quiet.
I can't tell you how many times we've been at events or shoots, and this one will just disappear. She loves the Irish goodbye.
Look, when I'm done with the parties and the get-togethers, then I'm done. And then they've seen me. And then when I leave, they're like, "I miss her." I wish she was still here. See, that's my whole thing.
And the difference is your work speaks for itself. You're very talented, so you don't need to glad hand people because they go, oh, I remember her from this event or this, this play or this film. You know what I mean? Like somebody like me, humor doesn't always translate, so I have to be like, hey, Jordan, I'm a nice guy. I'm good to work with. Trust me.
Jordan.
Hey, Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah. So, it's just a different process, I guess. But I think ultimately, if you're not unpleasant, people will work with you.
Yeah.
And I keep telling people all the time is, you have to make it happen. Like this dream that you're just going to be discovered because you're such a brilliant, talented actor. Like that's not good. I mean, what? It's probably more chance you're going to get hit by a train than get discovered from, just doing something.
So bleak, but true.
You have to go out and shake your hands and, be friendly and be, be known, be seen, because there's so much, it's half the time it's convenience.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh yeah, I worked with so-and-so and they were great. Why don't you just call them up? Hey, are you available? And that's, 90% of the time how real it is.
Most of the acting gigs I've gotten where people called me at the last minute and they go, this guy dropped out.
Can you, yeah.
You seem okay. Come on in.
But also, one of the things they say, whoever they are, is that in order to be successful in this business, you have to make your own content, and all three of us are making our own content.
That's true.
You have to be out there all the time and just like shove it to people. So.
Shove it down people's throats.
Bill Duke was on, and he said, we're no longer in the film industry. We're in the media industry.
Oh, that's fair.
And you have to, we have to realize, like, we're not in the film industry. This is a media world. It's cell phone apps. It's YouTube.
Yeah.
It's Facebook. It's Instagram. It's
point.
all about
It's
media.
not just enough to be a good actress.
It's not anymore. You
It's
have
not.
to. You have to be a good marketer. You have to be a good, good at everything.
Yeah.
And you guys are really good. I mean, I'm always on to Merrick. I'm like, take pictures, post on Instagram, and once a month he'll. But you have to do that. And you guys have hilarious posts, which are fun. Like,
oh, thank you.
And I'm guilty too. My headshots by Peggy, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta post, and so I'll like post a whole bunch, and then nothing for 2 months. I post a whole bunch.
No, it's a
but
lot of
but
work.
my personal one, I try to mix in, and kind of keep a presence going. But to me, social media is a struggle. I literally set alarms on my phone to remind myself to go onto Facebook because I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate social media. But
it's not
if
for
you
everybody.
look at my stuff, I hope that people don't get that vibe when they're looking at it. They're like, oh, look, she's smiling. Oh, my God, she takes way too many pictures of food. What is wrong with her?
I'm a compulsive
cares,
eater.
Peggy.
Nobody likes it more than me.
But you know what I mean? But that's because then people, I remember Peggy. Because you don't post for 2 weeks and you're forgotten because they're bombarded with other actors, with other camera, whatever it is that you do, and it's the first, when you're looking for someone, it's the first thing. So you've got to be on people's mind all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're doing, I mean, I think that's, you have to. And the fact that they offered classes and you went.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems pretty logical and it seems pretty simple, but for some reason, people don't get it.
Well, I had other people that were. I knew a lot of people that were trying to pitch ideas, and I said, well, they're having a workshop. They go, I already know that. I go, it's not about knowing. Go in there and meet people and get.
It's about being seen.
Yeah, but you do it because I see you at events all the time, right? And you're out here saying hi to people. Yeah, and look, I would say 90% of it is showing up.
Oh yeah.
Because I know some very talented people that will not leave their house.
Don't show up.
How are they going to get, I'm not going to knock on somebody's door and be like, hey, you talented? Let me see.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm fortunate because, Mary's in the Television Academy, so I get to go to places where actors are.
We're fortunate too. We got to go to one of those events last night. It was nice.
Last night with them.
I mean, she got thrown out, but it was, ultimately good.
No alcohol issues in this room.
None.
It's fine. No, it wasn't.
Safe space.
But no, and I feel like that's, that's cool that we're in the same industry, but we do different things, so there's no weird competition between us. Or because I know like actors that are married, and I'm like, wow, that's a weird dynamic when they're like, oh, you haven't been booked for a while, huh? And it's like, no. So Merrick and I don't have that because I mean, if anything, like he always has awesome headshots and self-tape auditions are like, on point all the time.
Yeah.
But on the other hand is I get to be seen a little bit more because I'm out at events and I talk to actors and
I think, yeah.
So it's about being seen sometimes.
Yeah.
Also, I think that being seen and making an effort, but also I think it's about sharing your counterparts stuff. What am I trying to say? Like being supportive of what everybody else is doing, sharing your work, your business, on our page or something like that, and that's another way that we can all help each other be successful.
Exactly.
Right?
Because if you have like a bazillion followers and you want to put a shout out to Headshots by Peggy. No. But no.
Well, now.
I mean, no pressure or anything.
No.
I don't even put on the spot. We got to.
If you thought about it.
Sure. Wow.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. But no,
Supporting each
seriously,
other.
it's really, it's all about, just, getting involved and helping each other and being truly, honestly excited about someone else's success.
Right.
Because this isn't a competitive if you think about it, because if you're not right for the part, wouldn't you rather your friend get the part than some stranger? I mean, Merrick's always like telling people, hey, there's this casting call, you should, come in and, why not? If something's out there, why, and when, somebody else books it, you're like, yeah, because if they booked a job, that means you can book a job. There's jobs out there to book, is what it means.
Saying. Be supportive
of it. And if you're honestly always in that energy and that flow, I feel like more work comes to you. I just feel like it's a good place to be.
It's nice.
I agree
karma.
with you. It is good karma. And plus it's a collaborative art. So, if look, we work together on this. So if you do well in another venue, that's great for us. That's great for our show, and vice versa. It's just, plus, I like to see my friends succeed.
Yeah.
Call me crazy, but of the people that I like, I like to see them do well.
Exactly. So I think when people get in that energy, it's and I think the other thing is understanding that you're not just an actor, you're not just a podcaster, you're not just a writer, but the more you expand yourself, especially this day and age, you have to have your hands out, in all different places, doing different things. Some things you may like, and if you don't like it, then at least you learned something, and you expanded your mind.
No, you're absolutely right, because when I first started, look, when I did Jordan Love, some episodes I just had to do myself. Yeah. So I had to set up the lighting and the sound and the camera, and then I had to write the thing, and then I had to. I like performing. It's not a hardship, but I had to do all of it, and then edit the thing and upload the thing. But I don't mind. It would be nice if I didn't have to do everything, but if you'd have to, you have to, and you suck it up and you do it, because you have to be multidisciplined in order to get stuff done. Right.
Well, years ago, my son's like, Mom, you need a vlog. And I'm like, why do I need a vlog? I'm
You're
behind the camera.
Vlog?
Why would I get in front of the camera? And it was, and so I used to do once a month tips on, getting your pictures taken. And it was horrible. It was me standing deer in headlights going, and it was horrible. It was.
This is what not to do.
And then, over time, I realized, oh, I get it. I actually have something that people need to hear, and I can give it to them here. So whether they come into my studio or not, I'm able to help them be successful in getting headshots or getting, even tips on, I always laugh. It's like, I'm a headshot photographer. I have a vlog that gives actors tips. As if I know anything about acting, but this is, this vlog kind of made itself. It just kind of evolved, and I'm just kind of holding on, going, okay, where are we going now?
Great.
And you're getting,
So, but it's fun, and I learn. The more people talk to me, the more I learn. And then when I have somebody in the studio, I'm like, so and so was talking about this happens, and so maybe you want to do this on your slate, or maybe you want to make sure you do this, or let's try this crazy lighting because so and so was talking about this. And, so it gives me, because if I didn't talk to all these people, I would know this much. I would know how to do basic lighting and posing and all the things I've done for 30 years. But I wouldn't think about let's do a real cinematic look for this, and let's do, because I never did film, so I would have never thought to, but the more I this actually teaches me.
Yeah.
Of course.
And that's the
Helping
thing
the
is when
community.
you help other people, you're the one that learns. Always.
Absolutely.
Always.
I don't see how helping people can go
Yeah,
wrong.
it can't.
I
It
mean,
can't.
I don't know. Maybe there's some rare instances.
Merrick and I talk about that all the time because he has people that we're always yeah, rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, would you leave them alone? Like, don't even respond to them because they're just being dumb. And then I'm there, and he's like, oh, what are you doing, Peggy? And I was like, it's different when I'm helping people. They're not taking advantage of me. you know how it is.
Yeah.
But
I think this job is like what you make of it.
Yeah.
It can either be cutthroat because you're holding
right.
on so tight, or it can be like open
Fun
and
and
fluid
open.
and supportive, and the community helping the community.
Yeah.
But isn't that a funner place to live?
Yeah.
Yes,
Like, do you want to
absolutely.
live always looking over your shoulder
No.
and that's not a fun place to live. Even if you
Yeah.
do have a few successes, it's not fun.
Right.
But when you're all having fun and when you're all like, oh my God, you did so great and I'm so glad you got this. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I just booked this great thing and everybody's happy for you.
Yeah.
Versus you booked this great thing and nobody says anything to you because you've been a jerk for the last 3 years.
That's a good point.
Our show isn't for everybody. You know what I mean?
No.
But people are still supportive of us
Yeah.
and sharing it. Like some people just, my closest friends don't listen to it, and it's totally fine.
That's funny.
But they're still supportive of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but you're right. It's not for.
It's not for everybody.
Well, my mother was telling me the other day. She said, "How can I listen to your program?" And I said, "Well,
yeah,
you shouldn't.
shouldn't.
Don't."
No.
I played one episode for, and it was our cleanest, nicest episode,
Which one?
the Burt Reynolds one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And my mother said, I like her. She's got you have good chemistry together. And I go, okay, well that's enough. I played the first 10 minutes. She goes, I'd like to hear more. I go, no, you don't.
No,
You don't want to hear more. You won't hear more.
My
But,
mom said that just recently. She's like, she said, oh, I'm so happy for you doing this film, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Mom, you're always so supportive. She's like, but I can't support the podcast. I just can't. And I'm like, I don't want you to. It's fine.
I don't want you to listen to
cannot
it, Mom.
Listen to it. It's for adults only.
Fair enough.
And moms aren't adults. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
It's for adults only.
Yeah.
I'm always telling my kids that I'm your mom. I don't need to know this.
Yeah.
I'm not
No.
adult enough to be
Yes,
participating in
exactly.
Yeah.
20-year-old children's lives.
That's true. It's not. That said, it's not exactly niche. I mean, it covers what everybody's had trouble with relationships.
Everybody's had a bad relationship.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think everybody.
And I think everybody can relate.
Yeah.
I think that I can see where if I were your mom or your parents,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to listen to my
Yeah.
kids talking about.
No, I'm talking about having sex with people and
Yeah.
nobody needs to know that.
No.
It's not graphic,
In fact,
but
nobody listened.
no, yeah, it's not for anyone at all.
Just so I brought you guys on here so I could tell everyone how wonderful your podcast was and that they should listen. You guys
And
are like
it's
you
canceled.
probably shouldn't listen to it. No,
Yeah, it's canceled.
but no, it is. It's hilarious. You guys have great chemistry and it's funny.
Thank you.
And you take really bad situations and twist them and not make light of it because some of it is like abuse and some of it's some really hard stuff.
Some of it's
Some
tough.
of it's hard stuff. Some of it sometimes it gets really real and
Yeah.
it's like, hey, this is real. Like
I
this isn't
know.
a joke. We can't excuse
It's really
this
hard to
behavior.
do a comedy podcast on something really heavy
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, you can do a dark comedy podcast, but sometimes certain co-hosts will. We were doing one on Woody Allen, and of course that's dark stuff. But I was trying to pepper it in with some light humor, and she was like, "Can you just stop? Can you just stop making jokes?" I'm like, "No, you know what? You're right. It's not a comedy
It's-
podcast.
it's
God
not-
forbid." I
I
lighten
know,
the tone.
I'm trying to be so respectful to everybody, and then sometimes I'm like so focused on being respectful, and I'm like holding on so tight, and this one will slip in some disgusting humor, and then I just loosen up.
It's
and
not
then-
always disgusting.
No, it's funny. No, it's
Thank you.
really
It's
funny.
sometimes disgusting,
It
but not always.
loosens me up, is what I'm saying.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, listen to the age gap episode, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Honestly, if no one's ever listened before, I would recommend you starting with the age gap episode. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of little segments about different relationships
Yeah.
that have huge age gaps, but it's more digestible. It's the second to last episode of season 2.
Right.
So episode 27.
I don't know.
Who knows? Who even knows at this point?
I don't know.
Why listen to him? But I would say, that's a good jumping off
Yeah.
point, Again, it's not for everybody, but I think it might surprise people.
I think people that listen to my vlog would probably enjoy your humor.
I hope so.
Or maybe not. Or maybe they'll be like, wow, we don't really like Peggy anymore. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. But no.
Now Peggy's fired.
No, I'm pretty sure that it's good stuff. It's
Thank you.
funny and it's good, and so I think everybody should subscribe, and we should get you like a bazillion viewers and get up on the rankings. I don't know how podcasts work.
Us either, so.
I'm like saying these words. I don't
No,
know what that means.
Can I tell them?
Yes, please,
Okay,
because
so-
we want to know. Because there's people out there that are like, I want to do a
How
podcast.
much should I go to?
Get all serious into your close-up.
So what you want to do is Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, Libsyn. You want to go on one of those and just like hit the check mark, and that means that you're subscribed, and that automatically downloads, and that counts as downloads for us. So the more downloads we get, the more people like us, the more advertisers want to advertise with us, the more money we'll make, the more famous we'll get.
Yeah. You don't even have to listen. Just download our episode. You don't even have to listen to it. But we can use the download numbers. That would be that'd be great.
And then you go on iTunes and give us 5 stars, because that also makes us look good. And then we get more advertisers, and then we get more money, and then we get more famous.
I mean, but only give us 5 stars if you like it. If you don't like it, shut your mouth. Because some lady went on and gave us 1 star? But then in her review, she writes, but I'd still listen if it was on. Well then, lady, bump up your stars. What are you doing? She
doesn't owe us anything, but yes, we don't like her. No.
We're gonna find you, lady. We're gonna find you. We're gonna kill you.
It's true. You're gonna die alone.
No, I'll be there, standing over her. Anyway, but look, all that we ask is give it a listen. If you don't like it, you never have to listen to us again.
Yeah.
But don't, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah. And it's you are gonna die alone.
Oh yeah, that's a big point of contention.
I've got it running across.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Oh, thank God.
It's like it's running across here. It's going to be in the.
Okay, good.
Can I tell you something?
I do really cool little graphics. I don't know if
good.
you've ever watched my.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever
Of course,
watched my
we've
vlog.
watched. Yeah. So,
What were you gonna say?
well, when I first tried to look it up, I was like, "Why is it
Why
not?"
is it
Because I actually spell. I'm on the podcast,
And you were
I don't know how to
spelling
spell
it
because I'm a
Y-O-U.
dope.
It's like you.
You are gonna die alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's
There was
point.
a lot of discussion on how we were gonna call our. Can I just tell a really quick story?
You can tell.
So we name it "You're Gonna Die Alone." Jordan came up with that at that party, like you said. And so when we were getting ready to roll everything out, we were like, okay, so how are we gonna do it? We're gonna do it YOUR''R, gonna die alone, or you are gonna die alone. And we went back and forth on the thread, back and forth. And finally, we like figured it all out and we blocked it in, right? And then a week later, I was like, remember when we were fighting about like the you're gonna die alone, but no one ever said anything about the gonna. No one ever mentioned it. Never mentioned it. So.
Were you like one of those group texts going back and forth?
Yes, that's exactly how we get.
Don't
nothing
ever
done.
put me in a group text.
Oh,
I hate those.
They're
It's
the
a
worst.
group message.
Yeah, I hate those. I'm like,
And then they just devolve into like a series of hilarious gifs.
yeah.
You
And
know?
then it's like, because I'm the dummy that has to look. Every time my phone beeps, I have to look.
Oh no.
I have
Me
to
too.
look.
Me too.
I was raised when the phone rings, answer it, and it's a curse. It's like, I know I'm in a group text, and I know I don't care, but I gotta look.
It is what it is. This modern technology's slowly killing us all. But yeah, what are you gonna do?
Making our lives so much easier.
Yeah, well, real easy. I'm telling you.
Remember when you could go to the grocery store and get groceries, and that was it until you got home, and then you would make phone calls?
Yeah.
Now you're like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, always, every time. And then I hate those. You go to a cashier place, like, well, you can do your transaction once you're off the phone, lady. This is 1957. I can do both things. I'm sorry, you can't. My generation learned how to multitask. I'm sorry.
So Jordan loves. This is where all the lovely energy
Yeah,
comes from.
yeah,
You can tell
yeah.
that was like your.
I promise you, I'm much more easygoing on Jordan loves. But Jordan hates.
Yeah.
And they can find that on YouTube.
Yeah, so Jordan Loves and Jordan Hates are on YouTube. And they're both on Facebook video too. And then the Jordan Loves stuff is on KPBS's digital platform.
Uh-huh.
So you can find it there.
Yeah.
and I'm excited about it.
What do you have online that people can see you in?
Yeah, what?
Oh, so I put all my stuff on my website. It's CristynChandler.com. So I've got like demo reels and films on there if they want to check it out.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
You got a website?
And hire me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
If you want. I don't know.
very good. She's
really good.
very good.
Thank you.
She's one of the best
Really
actresses
good.
in San Diego.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Probably other towns too, you know? I haven't
like
been to them, but I'm
Minnesota
sure
or
you're quite...
something.
Yeah, you
She
know?
might be the best in Minnesota.
When it
I
comes
don't
to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, she's second to none. Seriously, there's a nun there, and she's a very good actress. But she's good too, you know?
Thank you, Jordan.
Sure.
So social media. Where should everybody find you on social media?
Oh, it's me or you
well,
are gonna die
we're-
alone. Oh, okay.
Everything.
So social media for You Are Gonna Die Alone, and then also you can email us at youaregonnadialone@gmail.com. And for me, I don't give out my social media.
Because she's barely on it.
She doesn't have social media. In fact, you're not even on Facebook
I'm not
anymore.
on Facebook, no. And
So I like assume that everybody knows things because like I posted it and Kristen, we're like, where's Kristen? She didn't come. And then like next week, you're like, why didn't you guys tell me? I'm like, well, it was on Facebook.
Yeah, it's just some of us
So
get with the times, and
we
some of
have
us
to
just
remember
don't
to
care.
text. Okay, so you can't find her on social media. She doesn't exist. How about you?
Yeah, I'm on social media. I'm Jordan_hates on Instagram, and Jordan Jacobo on Facebook, you know. And yeah, so I'm all over social media. But if you want to get a hold of her, you know, telegrams are still a thing, I guess.
Smoke signal.
Yeah, you know, whatever. You
Yeah.
got yourself a nice Navajo blanket and a fire going.
Yeah.
Kristen will be at your party. Otherwise, that's that.
I'm just gonna Irish goodbye my life, okay?
Yeah, clearly. Good for you.
I'm actually surprised she's still sitting there.
It's
I'm
amazing.
surprised she didn't like
How is she
quietly.
not? Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is how she. Yeah.
That's pretty much on brand for this one.
Just kidding.
So.
Thank you so much, Peggy.
No, thank
Yeah.
you. This was fun.
Thank you for having us on. I really, you
You
know.
can come back anytime you want.
I'm gonna hold you to. I know you're saying it to be polite. I'm gonna hold you to it because I
No.
like this place.
We slept here last night. It was lovely.
Yeah.
It was lovely for her. I slept on the floor, and this one had all the windows open, you know. And I was you got a comfortable floor. It's just freezing.
Well, you know,
So nice.
some of us women get warm once in a while.
Yeah.
It happens. It's a thing.
Well, look, I'm trying to accommodate while, you know, trying to survive the night. But good for you. You know.
Yeah, it was.
There was coffee this morning. What are you complaining about?
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, it got me right up. Got me right up.
Well, thank you so much. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you for having us. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
And you can find me on social media everywhere. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the little bell if you haven't done it already. And most importantly, have an amazing day. I'll see you next week. Exactly.
Every time.